Energy Sam Medimon and area in same a NDC delegation election team Ashashia Abo Ram Kopi Kpandai. Obeka said dear no Kpandai Kpandai constituency Enra a honorable Matthew Nindam Tamal High Court a year being a member of parliament or a member of parliament took a year Kpandai constituency no why then wɔyi no afiri so anaasɛ wɔyi no afiri hɔ sɛ daabi there was a what a problem at some of the electoral areas you see 41 polling stations court ama order sɛ yɛnkɔ ne yɛnkɔto nti no yɛbɛkɔ akɔsi sɛ by election anaasɛ rerun of election ɛna ɛbɛyɛ ɛbɛkɔ akɔsi wɔ nti no according to Sameba Ike video bi a ɔyɛ de to TikTok yɛfa credit ma Sameba Ike ɔba no TikTok NDC communication platform ma kɛseɛ baako ɛwɔ hɔ no ɛkyerɛ ma ɛno election team no akɔpie mu hɔ na there's already election team Amadi Jibril Mustapha Gbandi ɛne Dr. Rashid Tanko computer man ɔmo akɔpie mu hɔ kyerɛ sɛ campaign no ahyɛ ase ɔmo akɔpie mu hɔ a ɔmo bɔ ɔmo de campaign kɛseɛ ɛde ama ɛyɛ Kpandai abɛtɛn green Nitocha arawosem anato minority for no rerun ɔmo kɔ ntohwɛ gaba mighty no yɛde declare na 27,000 and we so 24 NDC candidate 24 nti no the probability of rerun NDC bet 10 in green 100% because NDC is now attractive to the people of Ghana and I am very attractive. Go take some by any TV3 more details so I'm dropping on that.
Abusha enra na jo na NDC delegation na ekohwe by election na ebesi Kpandai no so no ekodru enra na jo asat be 1 am anajo no na advanced team no akodru Kpandai omo kohwe so mbeye ntutoye na NDC be sa age Kpandai seat no na MPP aba 86. Now, I wish NDC election machinery no very effective. It is a B2 bomber. Oh, B2 bomber, I'm saying this here no. I know who ghost like a EB. Obviously, 2 minutes per normal bedroom seat. 2 minutes per normal bedroom seat. Tinaze me say Western region on MPB yare. Ombe parliament in Ponombe catches or yare poso ma. And you'll be well no money by election. So on person man for cabins or yare near Bombay is who na by election constituency. Where will be we court in a share say, Sir MP no work and I know to me friend who MPP. Because no man back whom you know me and say, boy, yeah, a tomra into no kinds of friend on the MP. One elections near course no, there was petition say, Bibi course one and free and fair. Two, there's a Sir MP Nankasa was some dual citizen. Okra the idea James Jache Kesi no the same thing I want to okra abolche or mindful for some krata no same kra Ghana krata and the court to shame no cancer and money na album no say there be won't mean friend MP your friend Martin Yindam friend Matthew Yindam nti Martin Yindam no ye tuna de so onye MPPM and one NDC for ruling na pa advanced team na di kan o Kpandai. Now, we vote margin now, them 2024 now, less than 3,000 votes. Moshe Ebra Yekwa Akwetia vote margin on 2,000 votes plus. And then this winners are seat. Akwetia seat, no more sign be a gap in close to 3,000 can. Inti, Kpandai should be seen in the northern region. One of the MPP strongest hold. But NDC has always been controlling that section of the country, that is the northern region. But this time around, you're Kpandai. Enti plans na shegu, drinks ni nash.
Development with the reactions obviously from both sides of this particular issue and from both parties in this case. But the lawyers for the embattled Kpandai constituency member of parliament, Matthew Nyandam, have filed a motion for a stay of execution to challenge the Tamale High Court's decision ordering a rerun of the parliamentary elections. On Monday, the court ruled that a fresh election be conducted in the Kpandai constituency within 30 days. Now, here's lawyer for the Member of Parliament, that's Matthew Nyandama, earlier today after the court hearing and this ruling. He's been reacting to it. Take a look.
The decision, but we strongly disagree with the judgment, and we have already shown our aggrievement by filing a competent notice of appeal, and we've added a motion for stay of execution.
Well, the Member of Parliament himself was now having to fight for his status as Member of Parliament, essentially. He's been speaking to the media earlier today.
Let me put on record that for a run, you see, if genuinely we have to run, we won't have a problem. But if you decide to pave your way through, because you think that you are in government and you can use state powers to be able to coerce the people to vote for you, that's where we have a difficulty. In any case, he came to court with 41 polling stations. And these 41 polling stations are areas that I won with huge margins.
Well, Deputy Director of Elections and IT for the NDC, Rashid Tanko Computer, also did speak after this court ruling earlier today, affirming the fact that the NDC, in his view, had always believed that this particular election, the parliamentary elections in the Kpandai constituency, the coalition process did not follow the due process of the law. Take a look.
All along, the NDC has been saying that there are several crooked electoral officers who are bent on stealing people's mandate. And one of it is what has been exposed today. We said it time and again that the seat of Kpandai was the seat for the NDC. They rigged the election, and we've been saying it time and again that we will continue to expose crooked electoral officers who will continue to rig election. We will stop them. We will make sure that the NDC will prevent such rigging machinery of the then MPP and their crooked collaborators in the Electoral Commission. Clearly, the CI 127, if you look at Regulation 43, 1A up to H, spell out how collation of parliamentary election is done. You collect results based on two forms. We have from 1C and then from 1D. You assemble the results from 1C and then put the summaries on from 1D and declare the results. This was not done. They didn't do that. They just organized themselves, ran to Tamale, cooked some results, and announced Nyindam as a parliamentary candidate elect. This is what they did. And that is why we made sure that we follow through the process. The NDC is the most lawful political party in Ghana. We didn't use lawless means to get this verdict. We made sure that we follow through the process, and we have gotten favorable judgment. I can assure you, we are appealing to our opponents, the MPP. They shouldn't come for the by-election, because we will hand them some heavy defeat. If they if they still want to have some kind of respect to the good people of Ghana, they should chicken out how they chicken out in Tamale Central. Otherwise, our election machinery, you can see my regional minister is here, my presidential staffer, my candidate is here. We are going home. I'm sending the verdict back to National Secretariat. We are going to prepare. They've given us 30 days. We are ready. Even tomorrow, we are ready for it. We are going to make sure that the seat will return to NDC within 30 days. We are happy. We are grateful to Kpandai people for their patience. We assure them that His Excellency John Dramani Mahama will continue to do the goodies for them. We will continue to do whatever we are doing, and to make sure that proper representation of NDC is done in the Kpandai constituency. We are grateful.
Well, so that's how all of this played out in court earlier today, and let's stay a bit further on this. It's a development that we're focusing on and keeping our lenses on quite closely. But the Member of Parliament in question, who today the court is essentially saying, well, don't hold yourself up as a member of Parliament. He says he is still the MP for the Kpandai constituency. He posted this on social media earlier today after the court ruling. Take a look at this. This is what he said, what he put out on social media. Dear good people of Kpandai, don't shiver. Don't be perturbed. Don't waver. We are a formidable team, and nothing can break us. We will surely exhaust all the legal means. Matthew Nyandam, the Kpandai MP, earlier today, he put this out. Now, Justice Abdullahi is private legal practitioner. He's a lecturer at the EPSA Law Faculty. He's joining us. Good evening, Counsel. Thank you for joining us here on Ghana Tonight. First off, I want to find out from you, and we had to play the positions as espoused by the two lawyers for both parties so as to establish a few things. If you listen to the lawyer for the Member of Parliament, he says, in fact, he described this as a frivolous application, but essentially the courts entertained it because if there are issues in 41 polling stations, why extend it to affect the entire constituency results? You heard the NDC as well make that clear and strong argument. I mean, how did all of this strike you, especially because of the outcome of this particular case today?
I mean, to be sincere, I was taken aback when the judgment was delivered because I thought we had moved away from the era where elections petitions could take forever to be decided on. So, in fairness, I didn't even know there was lingering election petitions still ongoing in Ghana. And that's because I always draw my inspiration from the George Amo case. I think that was somewhere in the year 2000 or thereabout, where George Amo, who was elected MP for Ayawaso West Yangon, never stepped in Parliament because he spent the entire 4 years trying to vindicate the point that he had won the election. Eventually, when the court decided that indeed he had won the election, the tenure had expired, and the wrong Member of Parliament had lived the entire period in Parliament, participating in parliamentary activities, contributing, whether lawfully or unlawfully, to our constitutional democracy, and enjoying all the perks that are associated with the office of Member of Parliament. And the victor of the election never stepped a foot in the House of Parliament. That is how sad events were, and unfortunate the kind of era we are accustomed to. So largely, if you ask me, I expected that within 3 months after elections, we should be done with everything involving election petitions, whether by way of parliamentary or presidential.
Well, it's been 11 months now, as we're saying. But then again, the NDC was quite clear in the position, which appears to have been the position that the court held in this judgment that has been delivered, that it is indeed the case that the coalition in these 41 polling stations did not follow due process, as the outcome has been now espoused or pronounced earlier today. Now, let's go beyond what the MPP and the NDC or the lawyers for both parties have been saying and look at the evidential issues based on what has been reported and has been said by the two lawyers. What does the pendulum swing for you?
The danger with assessing evidence that you were not part and parcel of, even where you were, remember there were two sides. Everybody takes the view from angle, is that you are likely to put yourself in the shoes of the adjudicating judge and the power you do not have, and the benefit of which you also not have, because as lawyers will tell you, sometimes evidence comes in different forms of shapes. Sometimes even the demeanor of the people giving the evidence could influence the judge in the outcome of the decision that he's making. So most of the time, reading the text of evidence does not really yield to the overall impressions that you may have of the issues, and that is because witnessing a person giving their testimony and knowing his demeanor and reactions and all of that, sometimes could completely go contrary to the very things that the person is saying, and so it is difficult to put yourself in the shoes of an adjudicating judge who sits on the matter and witness all these events as they unfold. However, having said that, I think that when people make the argument that whether 47 or 35, and so the judge should have probably limited himself to the 47 and delivered his verdict in relation to the 47 and possibly order for a rerun of those 47, if you like, positions or otherwise. I think that is not left to any of the parties to determine, because the judge has a full picture of the event, and this time I'm deferring to the judge out of fairness, because when a person has a complete control of the matter, he understands better if you ask the question, would those 47 polling stations or pink sheets be enough to set aside the entire elections as run originally? If the answer is yes, I would consistently go for what the judge is saying. However, if it is not enough to completely uproot the remaining polling stations, assuming there were 1,000, the remaining polling station of 9,504 or 40 thereabout, if it may not be fair to say that those areas that were properly run should be also set aside and be rerun. So my point is that for a judge to make that kind of decision, he must have a basis in law, and of course supported by the evidence that was adduced at trial, to say that perhaps there were more wrongs. Those wrongs put together would only lead to one irresistible conclusion, and that conclusion is to completely rerun the entire election rather than running the 47 or thereabout that were contested. And I mean, on the basis of this, I would like to defer to the judge as having it right on this call. But the good part is that we have an appellate court, and that appellate court, luckily for us, the loser of the petition has filed an appeal.
Yes.
And luckily for us, that will be the end of the trial and then the hearing once the evaluation of the appellate court comes out and their decision comes out. And so, three wise men would have a better grasp of the issues. Right. And upon their review, I think we'd all be better off making an informed analysis from that point as against what we have today.
You're right in referencing what they have decided to do. I'm talking about the embattled member of parliament and his legal team. They say they're not surprised about this outcome. They've accepted the decision. They respect it, but they disagree. They filed the notice of appeal and then also the motion of a stay of execution. But then again, would you say it's too early to celebrate? Because we saw the NDC supporters behind Rashid Tanko Computer already in the mode of jubilation. Do you think that's too early?
I've consistently been saying since morning that those jubilating may have to hold on to their horses, because, first off, assuming there was no appeal even filed, and the loser decides, or the MPP member of parliament decides to send opportunities, if he decides to trigger all of it, particularly now that he has been filed an appeal, it could take a very long time. If you're not lucky, it could take us another year or thereabout, depending on how these issues play out. Remember, the 30 days that the court has ordered to be relied on for the purposes of the for the rerun, runoff, or however you want to call it, would never happen. That I can guarantee you. It will never see the light of day because of the circumstances. Once this person has filed an appeal, naturally he would follow up with either the tail end of January. And before you say, Jack, we have already, and there will be no new member of parliament. That's not what we wish for, as I've indicated earlier, because I would want that matters be settled quickly so that we have a consistent member of parliament who will contribute, having the peace of mind and the joy that he's helping build a better country for all of us, rather than having a member of parliament who will consistently be shuffling between the court and the House of Parliament.
Yes.
We would never have the best of that person. And
Right.
so it is my wish, it is my expectation that we take these decisions faster so that Ghana becomes the ultimate beneficiary.
Obviously, that robs the people of Kpandai of representation, and that's another area to look at as well. I thank you so much, Justice Abdullahi. He's a private legal practitioner. Thank you for joining us here on Ghana Tonight. But this is the constituency. This is the results that is been contested. As a matter of fact, this is 41 polling station results out of 152. This Kpandai constituency has 152 polling stations. What is being contested as having some alleged infractions during the coalition process is a 41 polling station results out of 152. And this is the full picture as of the end of election 2024. Matthew Nyendam, 27,647 of the valid votes. That's where, on the basis of that, it was the declared member of parliament elect, 53.2%, as against Daniel Nsala Wakpal of the NDC, 24,213. So if you look at the difference between the two, it's just about 3,433 votes, 3,434 of the difference between them. Now, if you look at the number of these registered voters, valid voters in these 41 polling stations, which results is being contested, that's what Justice Abdullahi referenced. It's enough to change the picture of this result as we are seeing. Now, we'll see how things play out in the coming days, especially because of the decision that the Member of Parliament and his lawyers have taken to contest the outcome of this. But this is how the picture looked like as of the end of elections last year. This is Ghana Tonight. Coming up next, the special prosecutor, Kesi,